This is Andy Gutierrez from StarWars.com, and you are listening to Coffee with Kenobi with Dan Z. This is the podcast you're looking for.
This is James Arnold Taylor, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi. I have a good feeling about this.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to Coffee with Kenobi. This is your spoiler-free place for Star Wars community and conversation. I'm your host, Dan Zaire, back for what is going to be the first of many bonus episodes of Coffee with Kenobi over the next couple of weeks, with Star Wars Celebration around the corner and the premiere of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Disney+. You're going to have a lot of Star Wars coverage on the show. You can support Coffee with Kenobi by following the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and TikTok, and subscribing to the YouTube channel. Help spread the word by tweeting that you're listening, share it on Facebook, or invite your family and friends to tune in and share a cup of coffee with all of us. Coffee with Kenobi is a proud member of the Speaker Prime program. I want to thank our official travel partner of Coffee with Kenobi, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. If you are interested in a no-cost, no-obligation quote for your next vacation, check out coffeewithkenobi.com/mousefantravel and let them know Coffee with Kenobi and Dan Zaire sent you. I also want to thank members of the CWK Alliance. Find out how you can join the Alliance for as little as $1 a month and get access to exclusive podcasts, videos, and much more at coffeewithkenobi.com/CWK Alliance. On today's show, Steve Sansweet joins me for a preview of what you can expect from Rancho Obi-Wan at Star Wars Celebration. Tom Spina will also come by from Regal Robot to share some amazing things going on there. And I've got a few other surprises for you as well, from Bandai in particular. So pull up a chair, grab your favorite coffee mug, and let's have some coffee with Kenobi. By the way, before we start off this bonus show with these amazing interviews, I need to give you more of my schedule. Of course, you know I will be the fan stage host at Star Wars Celebration. Very, very excited about that. I will be a busy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. However, there are a couple of times where I will not be hosting, but I will be a part of the Star Wars Celebration experience. Again, on Thursday at 12:30 p.m., the mythology of Star Wars behind the facts and the fiction at the University stage. 205 AB is the room. That is where I'll be doing my panel that I did at Star Wars Celebration Chicago, whereas think of it as being in my classroom as I talk about Star Wars and mythology. I can't wait to see you there. And also on Thursday, from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock at the Mysterious Galaxy booth, I will be signing copies of Star Wars I Am Your Father, the Star Wars book, and the Star Wars Character Encyclopedia. Joining me will be my co-author, Amy Rakow, for two of those books. And there will be books available for purchase as well. It's on sale there. It doesn't actually come out till the 30th, but you're going to get to be able to get it in advance. And you can have the two authors, me and Amy and I should say, sign it. Then, the big news. Well, it's all pretty big news. I mean, what a crazy thing I'm actually getting to sign at Star Wars Celebration. I'm very, very grateful and appreciative of that. But Saturday, I had said before that Coffee with Kenobi was not going to be a part of the podcast stage. Well, guess what, everybody? Breaking news here. We will, that's right, Coffee with Kenobi will be on the podcast stage. They have graciously asked to have us come up and be a part of it again. And of course, I'm not going to say no to that. We didn't think it would fit in the schedule, but it is. Very grateful to Disney and Lucasfilm for that. It's Saturday from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. at the podcast stage 208 AB. It's going to be myself, Tom Gross, and Corey Clubb efforting to get a special guest. So who knows what we will come up with, but we're very, very excited to return to the Star Wars Celebration podcast stage where it all started for us at Star Wars Celebration back in 2015. It's the exact same room too. So again, Saturday from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m., Coffee with Kenobi will be on the Celebration podcast stage. And then on Sunday, I will be signing from 11 a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. at the Mysterious Galaxy booth as well. Same thing as before. I will be alongside Amy Rakow. There will be copies of Star Wars I Am Your Father available for purchase. So again, in addition to the fan stage for where I'm hosting, you've got me on Thursday for the panel, The Mythology of Star Wars Behind the Facts and the Fiction of the University stage, 205 AB from 12:30 to 1:30. You've got me signing on Thursday also from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, the Mysterious Galaxy booth. Saturday, Coffee with Kenobi is on the podcast stage from 3:30 to 4:30. Podcast stage is room 208 AB. And then Sunday at 11 a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m., I will also be back at the Mysterious Galaxy booth doing author signings. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities for me to say hello to you, sign your books, take a picture, whatever, and just chat some Star Wars with you. Couldn't wait to share that news with you. Now it is official.
So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
Returning to Coffee with Kenobi is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Steve Sansweet. You know him, of course. He is, I don't even remember your title. I'm just going to call you the overall guru of all things Star Wars. How about that?
I think that's a guy named George Lucas, but I'll accept subservient status to that.
That seems perfect. Well, Steve, obviously Rancho Obi-Wan is an essential part of Star Wars Celebration, and this year's presence is going to be extra special. Please let us know kind of how this all came about and what we're going to be able to see.
Well, this will probably be our 4th or 5th Star Wars Celebration having a presence of Rancho Obi-Wan. Last time in Chicago, they gave us a space that was a good size space that was 900 square feet, plus another equal amount for lining people up. This time they said, we've got a room for you. It's 6,000 square feet. So it's a slightly larger space.
Wow.
By a factor of 6. Now, part of that is the lounge for the collector's track. We're on the same floor, the 3rd floor, as the collector's track, and one of the smaller stages, one of the smaller celebration stages. And so we decided to come up with an idea and talk to our board of directors. And our board of directors consists of some of the people who are actually taking part in this. We decided we needed some help this time to get a really broad look at Star Wars, one of Star Wars' most intriguing characters, Boba Fett, and the Mandalorians, and how that all came about. It started in 1978. It goes through today. So we're calling it Rancho Obi-Wan Presents the Saga Museum. And the Saga Museum consists of our collection here at Rancho Obi-Wan, collections of Gus Lopez, Duncan Jenkins, and Lisa Stevens and Vic Wertz, some of the top flight collectors of Star Wars memorabilia in the world. And everybody has different points of entry and different things to share. And so we're doing Boba Fett to Bo-Katan, a look at the reign of the Mandalorians. So we're very excited. It's been a huge bit of work that Ann Newman, President and Chief Executive Officer of Rancho Obi-Wan, has pulled together. Vic Wertz has done a lot of the coordination and writing of the little tags that we'll have on the memorabilia. We'll have everything from original props, ranging from the very first Boba Fett laser rifle that you see in the pictures where Boba Fett is in the all-white costume before it is painted, and before George used a licensing towel to make the cape on the back because he wanted a cape and there was nothing else available that day. And so we're going from that to the Boba Fett stunt backpack, one of the stunt backpacks from Return of the Jedi from Gus Lopez's collection, and just all kinds of memorabilia and toys, both main versions of the rocket-firing Boba Fett action figure, and just everything that you can imagine that we'll touch on, from the animated series when he was introduced to the public, and even before that, the parade in Marin County, where he marched next to Darth Vader. So there's so many things that people sort of know about, don't know about, or have just heard random stories about that we're going to get into. Lots of infographics and banners that will let people know what they're seeing. And we're really very excited to do this at Celebration.
Well, the prep for this must be around the clock. What is sort of like the time frame from initial germ of an idea to, hey, we're driving our stuff to Celebration?
We're not driving it. We're letting other people drive it. So
yes,
we're lucky on that.
A caravan of courage.
Yes, it takes a lot of courage for these collectors to part with their things, even if it's only for a week and a half or so.
Sure.
Everything has to be packed up, but it took many months of talking and figuring out what to take and how to arrange the presentation. And that goes into weekly Zoom meetings that we've had with our board of directors, because Gus and Duncan and Lisa and Vic ex officio are all on the board of directors of Rancho Obi-Wan. And that initial decision was made that we work so closely together. We love each other's collections, to do this joint venture and see how we work together in reality, not just in theoretical basis. So we're very lucky when it comes to that.
I love the teamwork part of that. And I think that's an important part of the Star Wars community and fandom anyway. And now there's so many terrific collectors with world-renowned collections, and now you get to see a nice little sample of all of them through the eyes of the Mandalorian or Mandalorians in general, which is perfect because obviously the Mandalorian was so incredibly popular. We just had the book of Boba Fett, and I still maintain, of every collection, of every line, Star Wars or not, I think that original Boba Fett figure is the single greatest looking action figure ever made.
Well, I think not only is it a wonderful looking action figure, but I think that's what led a lot of people into, and the whole mythology behind, oh yeah, I received one of those rocket firing Boba Fett's, but my dog ate it. Oh, but I buried it in the yard. Oh, but I set it on fire. Oh, but I lost the missile and I threw it away. And so the stories that came out, because people were promised and were expecting the rocket firing mechanism, and because it wasn't sent because of product safety issues dealing with a toy that Mattel had put out at the time, the Battlestar Galactica Viper. This mythology has grown up, and this figure has become super collectible, and the rocket firing Boba Fett's at auction, because there are, only a handful of these around still. You have to watch out, because people have made replica versions of these, not to trick people necessarily, but because so many people would like to have a version of the rocket firing Boba Fett. So, but every collector is different, every collection is different, and when you bring them all together, you see that they're really complementary. So that's why we're doing what we're doing, and that's why we're starting with Boba Fett. And we're looking at the whole evolution of the Mandalorians. Boba Fett started out, at least the concept started out, as one of the super commandos, and that there would be a whole squadron, at least, of this new-looking stormtrooper character, and that didn't work out for various reasons. And then we get the wonderful bounty hunter Boba Fett, who was personified by the late Jeremy Bulloch. That added to Boba Fett's popularity when Jeremy went around the world for 2 decades and signed autographs and chatted with fans, and was just one of the best representatives that Star Wars could possibly have. So you get all of these different things adding up to Boba Fett being so popular.
Definitely. He's very popular in the iconic look. I saw something on Rancho Obi-Wan's Instagram. It looked like you're putting a life-size Boba Fett in like some sort of foam carbonite. And I thought, well, I don't know what this is.
This is the pre-production full-size Boba Fett figure from Donpo Studios back in the 90s. And we were putting him in foam in a road case to bring him to Celebration. So he's different, a little different in the paint job and some of the accessories that the Boba Fett that was sold to the public has. So this was for Lucasfilm to give its final approval and make some last minute changes. And then Don, when he picked it up at Lucasfilm as a gift, delivered it here.
Wow. That's wonderful.
So, nice to have good friends like that.
Absolutely it is. And another nice thing, speaking of friends, if you are a member of Rancho Obi-Wan, there are certain things that will enhance your experience at Star Wars Celebration, particularly when it comes to visiting you and the collection.
Yes, we have a Lightspeed pass that we have sent out to all of our members, and that will enable people to use a shorter line to skip the main line and come into the exhibit. We're not on the exhibit floor this time, although we will have a table saying upstairs, guys, and we want to make sure that that our members get an extra treat, and we'll have a bunch of brand new merchandise for sale, and we'll have our raffle. The top two prizes are a hand-knitted, beautiful throw of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, done by Charmaine Cuddy of Canada. And she has done these throws for various galas that we've had, and she gets better and better as she goes along. And this is an incredible piece. And then the top prize is a hardcover, the first printing of the hardcover novelization of Star Wars, signed by George Lucas.
Wow.
In my presence. So I know it's authentic.
That's tremendous. That is, wow. Gosh.
And then we have a spinning wheel. And so we have numbers and prizes. So for a $5 ticket, you get to spin the wheel. And if you get number one, it's the highest prize, and you get your choice. The prizes are sorted by what value we assign to them. And if you get a number 5, that's the booby prize. Now at Chicago, the booby prize was Star Trek toys from my collection. Not that we don't like Star Trek, so I don't want to give the wrong impression, but we thought it would be funny. This time, E.T. toys from my collection are the booby prize. And of course, E.T. is tied to Star Wars because of Senator Greeblips, George's homage to Steven Spielberg and E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
You know, in 2015 at Celebration, I was talking to Andy Gutierrez, and she was talking about ET, and I said, our mutual friend has one of the largest collections, or used to have one of the largest ET collections, and she about lost her mind. So if you run into her, she may ask you about that. Hard to say.
Yeah, I don't still have it. We needed the space. There was a lot of stuff. I still have a couple of pieces, and the remaining part of the collection will be going at the raffle wheel. We'll also, in front of the Boba Fett Mandalorian exhibit, we'll have 4 small exhibits. One is the history of Star Tots, and these are the preschool line that Kenner first came up with in 1978 and never produced. But we have from Gus's collection and Lisa and Vic's collection, we have drawings and prototypes of the Star Tots collection as it would have been produced. And then, of course, the collector's track is given away flat metal versions of the Star Tots as gifts for each of the panels over the last several celebrations, and are doing it again. So each time you go to a panel at the collector's track, you get one of these wonderful Star Tots, and they're continuing to do it this year. Next is What's in a Name, and Duncan Jenkins is putting that together. Some of the confusion, especially early on, of the names of characters, and there were a couple of action figures that somehow got misnamed, and one a droid name became an alien, and the alien became a droid. I can't remember what they were, but that should be fun. And then we're doing a small homage to ourselves, Rancho Obi-Wan 10 years, and we're going to show all the patches and pins and things that we've used as membership kit items for the last 10 years. And finally, Anna's doing an art piece using Baby Yoda merchandise. It's called Cascading Grogu in Hombre. Now, if you know what that means, you tell me. But it's sort of like an art piece that goes, or a fabric that goes from one shade to another, from dark to light, and she's arranged this thing. It's pretty amazing. I've seen the mock-up, and it's going to be fun. So something else to look for.
I love it. So a ton of unique things, some great prizes. And I know Rancho Obi-Wan always has exclusive merchandise for Celebration. There's always great T-shirts and items like that. Will there be pins as well?
Yes, there will be pins and a lanyard, And we're also going to have some signings. So I'll be there signing every day. Dan Madsen, who founded Fantastic Media and the Star Wars Insider, will be signing. And Amy Ratcliffe will be signing one day her new book, Jedi Mind. So she didn't have the opportunity to go out and sign it during the pandemic. So she's happy to sign. We'll have a limited number of copies for sale. And if you already have one or anything that Amy has written, feel free to bring it and she'll sign it.
Outstanding. Well, a lot of great people, a lot of great experiences and things to do. And let everybody know, again, it's on the third floor, correct?
It's on the third floor. It's 304B. And we're looking forward to meeting new friends and making new friends and meeting old friends from around the world. It's really, that's what Star Wars Celebration is all about.
It really, truly is. And I can't let you go without asking you how excited you are about the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Through the roof, man. And after seeing some of the interviews and hearing what Ewan has said about it and seeing the trailer, I'm jazzed. I am truly jazzed. I can't wait.
It's going to be electric, and it's always electric to talk with you, Steve. Thank you so much for coming back on Coffee with Kenobi. Be sure to go and find Steve and the Incredible Experiences on the third floor. You said, what was it,
304B.
304B. Okay, that's what
There'll
I thought.
Plenty of signage.
Absolutely. And you can also become, if you're not already a member of Rancho Obi-Wan, well, you can sign up right now online, or just make sure you do it actually at Star Wars Celebration itself. Steve, thanks again, my friend.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
Let's go ahead and take a really quick break. When we return, we're going to have Tom Spina from Regal Robot, as well as two of my new friends from Bandai Namco. That would be David Edmondson and Justin Cavender. We'll see you right after the break. This is Coffee with Kenobi.
This is Vanessa Marshall, and you're listening to Coffee with Kenobi.
Joining us today for his first time on Coffee with Kenobi is Tom Spina. He is the owner of Regal Robot and Tom Spina Design. Tom, welcome to Coffee with Kenobi.
Thank you. Is there like a special coffee that first timers get, or is it? I'm new to this whole thing. I assume there's going to be a knock at my door any minute now.
Well, it's from Chopper, so you just don't really know how he's going to behave, if he's going to drink it or who knows. But hopefully it'll show up anytime now.
I mean, will he get one of those really wicked R2-D2 Return of the Jedi drink trays, and it'll just show up like the most badass Tatooine barista there ever was?
That sounds like something I'm hoping will be a future Regal Robot product.
Like the R2-D2 cappuccino machine,
Yes.
It's a little nozzle opens up at the top and
and when you run out of whipped cream, it gives you a lightsaber. I think that's great.
That's awesome. Yep, I'm good with that. Well, either way, coffee or otherwise, I greatly thank you for having me on. I'm excited to be here, excited to chat with you.
Oh my gosh, it is my pleasure. You've been a part of Star Wars fandom and celebrations for a very, very long time. How many celebrations have you and Regal Robot been a part of?
Let's see here. So Regal, this one coming up is really technically for Regal only the third one. For myself, Celebration 2 was the first one I went to, and since then I've been a panelist and invited guest to the show a few times. We've done everything from aliens and all the Cantina creatures for the Anaheim one back about 7 or 8 years ago, to having our original Han Carbonite desk at one of the Orlando shows, to being a part of a couple of the different charity projects. My favorite was the As You Wish project, which Art Andrews headed up, that had all these different artists making really cool, crazy versions of Boba Fett's helmet. What else? The famous, nerd famous Cantina panels that Pablo and I did for years.
Yes.
Diving so deeply into the nerdy weeds of that scene. Oh, and and never forget our, insane T-shirt cannons that we keep making them for the Star Wars show stage. So yeah, it's like Celebration's kind of in my DNA at this point, and it's really like right now. We're recording this about a week. I hope I'm not letting any cats out of the bag by saying this, but about a week before the show, and we're all on like high alert at our studio in prep. It seems like every day we think like, okay, we finally got everything done, and then you find one thing that's just like, oh no, we forgot to ... and then we just all go crazy for the rest of the day figuring out some way around whatever it is. It's been an intense couple of months in prep, but we're so excited to be almost there.
Right, and the results, I think, are speaking from themselves. You have all been leaking out some of the exclusives that are going to be a part of Star Wars Celebration 2022. And, people who have met you, who have seen your work online or in person, know that this is high quality and incredibly stunning pieces as you're going to find in the world of Star Wars. And I can speak personally and professionally because from Celebration Anaheim, that's the first time our paths crossed. There have been a lot of people who have gone in and out of our lives since then. So it's kind of hard to think through blur. But I remember you at that Cantina set, which was just exquisite in and of itself. And I remember you setting me and my friends up with costumes as we were a part of the live stream event. And your professionalism and the incredible quality of what you do is absolutely breathtaking. I sincerely mean that.
Thank you. That show was so much fun. I remember we were cycling people through, getting them in and out of that set, getting costumes on folks, putting them in masks. And, one of my favorite memories is trying to hide Weird Al and sneak him onto the set through like the floor. And so I'm like, give me a bunch of people that we can put in alien costumes, and we'll put a robe over Al with a hood up, and we'll walk him there with like a little crowd around him, and hopefully, people will just let us go. So of course they gave me a bunch of people who were all about 5'2", and Al is like 6'5", like I don't think he's that tall, but he's pretty tall. And he's got a hood on, but his curly hair hanging out of the front of this thing. And immediately as we walked into the room, like we're like, if you remember the walk from the sort of outer door to that cantina, it was a good couple hundred feet. Yeah. It was like we opened the door, Weird Al! And it was like a crush of people show up like, move, race for the stage. It was a crazy show, but it was a lot of fun, and it was really, it's kind of full circle for us. We've gotten to do so much with that cantina, whether it was Super Bowl commercials or other commercials or online videos with Lucasfilm and stuff like that. And, to be able to, so the one in particular, the set for that was done by a guy named Ryan Brett Puckett and his crew, which was like insane. And it was originally built for a Nerdist music video with Billy D. Williams and Patton Oswalt and a whole bunch of other amazing folks, and shot at like the Nerdist stages. And after that wrapped, someone at Lucasfilm was like, "Oh, we need that for Celebration." And it was just like the feeling of walking onto that set, and it, like you literally feel like you're walking into Star Wars. Like what Ryan built there is just amazing, and it was so cool to take that thing that we had only ever experienced, on a stage, and bring it to the show. And then that Lucasfilm let the fans kind of populate it during their whole broadcast was just the coolest thing.
That's so good. And you know what? It's so funny you bring up that Weird Al thing, because when he left the stage, I was one of the people that escorted him off the stage. And took him over there to the thing. So that it's so funny you bring that up. So let's talk specifically about this celebration. You've done some great stuff with some reveals of what we're going to see. I know a lot of members of the Coffee with Kenobi community who are big fans of yours, and of course all things Star Wars, are drooling over what you've got going on. Ian Thompson, I'm going to give you a shout out, Ian. He said he must have the Max Rebo Maquette Replica Signature Edition. Let's talk about this stunning piece first of all.
Thank you. Yeah, man. I mean, so let's see. At the last celebration, We had the first celebration we did with Regal, which is back 2017 now, was just our like kind of debut to the Star Wars community. I had been in business for a very long time doing our prop restoration and display work and all of that stuff, all the sort of creature work and the behind the scenes effectsy type stuff. But Regal was going to be a new brand, and it was going to be to launch the Star Wars line we were doing. And so that first show, we were just happy we got there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we worked so hard just to get a bunch of those Mythosaur skulls ready just in time for the show, and to get our high carbonite desk there, and the asteroid table, and some other fun stuff. Oh, the dewback couch, yeah. We wanted to just make it a fun kind of booth for folks to go to and have a little bit to sell. The next time around, we had a lot more products. We had a lot of different versions of our skulls, and we had some wall plaques and things like that. And somehow we got magnets in our license. And this is a very long way to talk about Max Rebo, but indulge me.
Of course.
If you will. But magnets wound up as part of the decor side of our license. It was one of the little subcategories. And I said, why don't we make a magnet just for the show? And I always loved the little gargoyles on the front of Jabba the Hutt's dais. And I thought, okay, let's do that as a little resin magnet. We can make them here in the shop. We can paint them bronze. It'd be all fun. And so we made, a few hundred of those in the shop, and then just brought them to the show as a little exclusive. And lo and behold, people lined up in front of our booths every morning. And we're like, what is this? Why are all these people here? And they were there for the exclusive. And it was just really like, I don't know, it just felt great that, that people responded that way, that you put so much effort into every single product we do, whether it's a tiny little magnet or a really, high-end collectible thing, that folks, that these things resonate with people, absolutely means the world to us. And me specifically, at the end of the day, I'm an artist, I'm a sculptor, I'm a creature guy. So, you want to make things that people want. You want, that there's no greater compliment than someone saying, I want to put this on my shelf. I want to put this with my other collectibles. I want to put this with, other things that I love. It's like, oh man, that feels real cool. And so this year we thought, well, let's make a few exclusives and let's try and hit kind of a range of price points with it. And we now, since then have, right around the time of the Chicago celebration, we had expanded our license to include prop replicas and life-size characters, life-size busts, things like that. And since then, we've really kind of grown that line out. We've done a lot of some character busts. We've done some one-to-one creatures. We've done things like our life-size Tauntaun busts that hang on a wall. But one of my favorite things is the maquette line. And I am just the world's biggest sucker for the old Return of the Jedi making ofs. I love the A New Hope one, and I love the Empire ones. The special effects, the making of Empire Strikes Back is one of my favorites too. But
oh yeah,
I only ever was able to rent those from the VHS store, whereas the from Star Wars The Jedi, the making of a saga, I taped off of PBS, many, many years ago. And so that was the one I was able to study. And I in a way, that stuff was my first teacher in terms of effects, looking at that and trying to reverse engineer what Phil Tippett and Dave Carson and Kurt Thatcher and, that whole crew were doing, was me, that was learning. There was a lot of error and trial from there, but it was me messing with stuff because I saw it. It's like nobody put a "don't try this at home" on it. So,
right.
But that maquette line to me is that tribute to those amazing concept sculptures that you saw in that documentary. They would, so for every creature you saw in Return of the Jedi, except Salacious Crumb, there was a maquette made. So, George had all the different creature creators in the ILM Creature Shop just sculpt from their imagination and come up with a whole bunch of random ideas. And then George went in and cultivated that and turned it into the menagerie that you see in Jabba's palace and in Return of the Jedi. And it was, George's really exquisite taste when it comes to creatures. People, I've been trying to figure this out for years. It's like, what makes a creature Star Wars? And at the end of the day, it's George, you have, he's had such a wide variety of artists working for him, and every one of them has put their own stamp on it, and every one of them has brought stuff to the table. And, George wouldn't have the menu in front of him, so to speak, if it wasn't for them, but it's George who puts together that meal. It's George who pulls a little of this, a little of that, and put these together. Or give me more of this guy, we'll make them the band. Or give me more of that guy, and we're going to put him here. That ultimately, he knew his universe, and there's a regardless of the variety of these creatures, there's a cohesiveness to it all. They all feel Star Wars. And that's a really tough thing to pull off.
That might want to be the best explanations I've ever heard for what is that Star Wars look for an alien or creature. I love that. That's fantastic.
It's the sort of thing that, this is the conversation I love to have. It's like, this is the stuff we sit around talking about at the shop.
Yes.
This is the specific way I love to nerd out, and it's, it's a fascinating thing. And I'm sure if we have the same conversation in, 5 years, I'll probably have, who knows? Maybe I have a different take on it, or maybe it just gets deeper ingrained. Like, darn it, it's just George, But yeah, it's a neat thing. Anyway, those maquettes, which again, brilliant sculptors and creative types that came up with all of those, are just, to me, some of the coolest artifacts of those movies. And the neat part is that most of them still exist, and nearly all of them still exist, and they're in the archives up at Skywalker Ranch, which is a place we're really fortunate to get to go in our life. So, now we're a few years into making these collectibles, and 3D technology is now, really, really obviously prevalent in the collectibles industry, but just, it gives you this incredible way of capturing things that are either too complex or too fragile to mold. For us, I love offering people things that have a direct link back to what was made in the movies. Sometimes that means it comes out of the same mold. Sometimes that means it's sculpted by the same guy who made it for the movie, like our Salacious Crumbs were. Or sometimes it means, it's molded off of a casting that was used in the production. But a lot of times these artifacts are just that. They are incredibly valuable, incredibly fragile or rare, or, things that you wouldn't want to risk. And now 3D scanning has really come into its own, and you can, with the right tech, you can make incredibly high resolution copies of things. And so with that, we're able to go in and say, okay, here's a character mask, here's a droid head, here's a bunch of maquettes, and or a prop or things like that. And we're able to make a three-dimensional digital representation of it and give us a way to create a replica for people that is as close as you're going to get to that thing that's in the archives. And that's where Max comes in. he is the first of this new archive collection, which we're calling it. And for celebration, at the very last minute, someone foolishly said, you should make Max first on the list, because we had actually already been working on 3 or 4 others. And darn it, they were right, but at the last minute, we had to really hustle things together to get Max going and get 83 of them made to bring to the show. They're currently all in a crate flying out to California. And at the show, we're going to have that 83 as a special signature edition with the original sculptor, Phil Tippett, having signed the plaques for all of those. For folks who can't make the show, I'm obligated to say we are going to do a numbered edition, which will be a hand-numbered plaque with each one, like we do with our other maquettes. That'll come out in June, and you'll have a chance, early June, I think June 7th, and you'll have a chance to get that online. But if you want that signature edition, that is only available in person at the show. And it's going to be really interesting. I've had a lot of folks, was it Ian, who we gave the shout out to earlier?
Yes.
Yeah, we've had a lot of folks like telling us the same kind of thing. Like, I'm gonna be at that booth first thing. It's like, oh boy, okay, like, we better get ready, guys.
It's booth 2518, and honestly, I would be shocked if these aren't all gone on Thursday. I mean, the buzz I'm hearing and your passion for it, and just how great it looks. It's just so cool. And you mentioned there's others on the line, so we're gonna keep our eyes open for that. But you've also got a Wise Monkey Lizards desk accessory sculpture, which I think is so fantastic. A Pondo Baba Arms magnet set, and then something that's going to be announced. Well, at the time of this recording, it's going to be announced tomorrow. But this is coming out, however, on Thursday. So by the time this comes out, the announcement will already have been made.
That's true, and that one is the Blue Harvest wood art plaque. A nice way for folks to give a little nod to the making of Return of the Jedi and put that on their wall on a little bit of stealth geek,
Which is so cool. I mean, I can't wait to see all of these things in person. Not only will you be at booth 2518, but you've got a number of product reveals, and you're also going to be on some panels too.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy show. So at the booth, we'll have obviously the Max Rebos. We will have our salacious, not salacious, but the 3 Wise Monkey Lizards, which I'm glad you liked. That was a lot of fun to develop.
The quacky monkey lizards are always a crowd pleaser.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it's so funny too, because it's only in hindsight that you go like, oh, of course it had to be Max Rebo. Of course it had to be the monkey lizards. Like, everybody loves those. Like, that's universal. We should have done this in the first place. So yeah, we're going to have all of our exclusives at the booth, as you say, 2518. And we'll also have one other thing, which was, by the time people hear this, was revealed as a bonus reveal at the end of last week. And that was our new Cantina Chairs that are like actual furniture for your house that happens to look like the awesome bench seats from the Cantina. They're seats to shoot first in, like, they are, they're wicked cool. They're made in North Carolina, the same fabricators that do our Emperor Throne desk chair and our Emperor Throne armchair. And they are actually available to purchase now on the website. So anybody who sees this can go and look at them and see, or anybody who's listening rather, can go and check them out. And if they want to bring a set of those home, they can do that right on the website. And if you're going to be at Celebration, we do have a pair of them that we're bringing to the booth. So you'll be able to sit in them. You'll be able to bring a buddy dressed up as Greedo and blast them. It'll be a good time. Will be had by all.
It's great.
So,
I mean, I'm just smiling listening to you talk about them, and I can't wait to sit in these things. I mean, I'm the host of the Star Wars Celebration fan stage, but I'm going to have breaks. So during one of my breaks, I think I should come down to booth 2518 and have a seat.
I'm going to have to hire you, man. You're good at getting that booth number, and I keep forgetting. I'll be seeing you at that stage. I know I'm penciled in for a stage interview at some point. We also, without giving away too much, we made some stuff for the stage this year. So there'll be some cool stuff that you'll see that we worked on, and I can't wait for folks to see some of that. The panels I've got. If folks want, if they're into the high-end collectible stuff we do and they want a sneak peek at everything we're doing, not everything, but a lot of what we're doing, there's a panel with Lucasfilm on Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Brian Merton, who runs the high-end collectibles at Lucasfilm, will be there running this, and it'll be folks like us, probably Sideshow, probably Bandai, Kotobukiya, some other high-end collectible licensees, and at that panel, we all kind of show off what's been in the works, give people their first look at a bunch of stuff, and at the end of the panel, each licensee gives away usually a pretty expensive item. So if you like free stuff, it's actually a pretty good one too. You might, if you go there, you might win, and you might get something really cool.
Hey, you like free stuff, kids? I've got just the panel for you.
Hey, kids. I got the panel for you. Come on down. Maybe you'll get something really, really cool. It's 6 p.m. the first day. I've got the movie props panel with Gus Lopez, Stephen Lane, and Brandon from Prop Store, Dave Mandel, who is the was showrunner for Curb Your Enthusiasm and Veep, and an old friend and amazing collector. We've got a making of Return of the Jedi creature panel on Sunday at 2 p.m. from 2 to 3. And special guest on that is actually Kirk Thatcher, who was a 19-year-old kid who got to be a pretty big part of the Return of the Jedi creature crew. And, what a way to enter the business, huh? And of course, anybody who doesn't know who Kirk is, for starters, he's amazing. He's hilarious. He's been a writer and director with the Muppets for years, but he's probably most famously known as a producer on Star Trek IV, where he also played the punk on the bus with the giant orange mohawk and the boombox screaming "I hate you," over and over.
Oh, wow!
Yeah,
How about that?
And anybody who doesn't know this is amazing. He actually recorded the "I Hate You" punk song. It was they didn't like the song they had or something like that, so him and a buddy got together over a weekend and just wrote that song real quick and showed it to Leonard Nimoy, who's directing, and he loved it, so they put it in the movie.
That's great.
Anyway, he's full of a great story, so don't miss it. Really good panel. There's a few others. If they go to the Regal Robot website and go to the news page, there's a full list of my schedule for anybody who wants to come see it. And again, at, as you say, booth 2518, they can come in anytime, say hello, tell us that you heard about it on Coffee with Kenobi.
That's right. Let them know that Dan's there and Coffee with Kenobi sent you. Well, Tom, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on to talk about the amazing things Regal Robot has going on for Celebration and beyond. Looking forward to seeing you at booth 2518, all your panels, and I look forward to meeting you face-to-face again.
I do as well, man. Thank you so much for having me on. It was a blast to chat, and again, as soon as the coffee gets here, I'll let you know. I'm sure it'll be here soon.
Oh, absolutely. Chopper, come on, buddy. Don't let us down. Joining us today for a cup of coffee to talk about some amazing opportunities for you at Star Wars Celebration are David Edmondson and Justin Cavender. Both gentlemen are from Bandai Namco Toys and Collectibles America, or BNTCA for short if you're keeping score at home. Gentlemen, welcome to Coffee with Kenobi.
That was a big mouthful.
It was. Nice job, Dan.
Thank you.
Killed it.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
This is your first episode.
That's right. Gentlemen, here's the question. Star Wars Celebration is a massive experience for Star Wars fans. We know that Bandai Namco Toys and Collectibles America is going to have an incredible presence there. But let's focus on the two of you quickly. Talk about your fandoms and what being a part of Star Wars Celebration means to both of you. And Justin, let's start with you.
Sure. So I've been, like probably everyone on this show, I've been a Star Wars fan for my whole life. Absolutely love it so much. And I've been to a Star Wars celebration, and it was just electrifying. It was just before, I think it was in 2015, before, when Episode 7 came out. Yeah, Force Awakens. And holy smokes, like the energy was just like palpable. And my goodness, I just felt like I belonged, like it was like I've waited my whole life to experience something like this. And as someone that's been to all the different conventions and all the different trade shows, but there's just something about Star Wars Celebration that just resonates throughout the entire atmosphere. And I'm so excited to be a part of it again this year.
Love it. And David, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm also a lifelong Star Wars fan. This will actually be my 7th Star Wars Celebration. Wow. I got to attend 4 as a fan, 1 as a journalist, and this will be my 2nd one with Bandai. So the only ones I missed in America, I didn't go to either of the Orlando shows, but I've been to, both in Anaheim, the Chicago shows, LA, the 2 in Indiana, and Denver, the very first one. My oldest son's name is Luke. My first dog I had was named Vader. My current dog is named Kyla Ren because she's a girl, so had to do the A. So my fandom runs deep. The wedding cake toppers on my wedding cake were Han and Leia. We came out to the opening theme to Star Wars when we came out as we're introduced as husband and wife. So
nerd alert.
And at that 2015 celebration where I was at Justin, I got my first tattoo, and I got the Imperial Cog on my calf at Star Wars Celebration. We got a Star Wars tattoo at a Star Wars convention. So I don't think it gets any more hardcore Star Wars than that.
I guess this is a good time to announce that David is the new host of Coffee with Kenobi after that resume. That's outstanding. I'm sure our paths have crossed. I've been to several celebrations myself. So this is fantastic. So now you're both obviously going to be a part of Star Wars Celebration, but in the capacity where we're focusing on some incredible opportunities for fans to really purchase some great Star Wars items, memorabilia. Go ahead and let us know what you guys have to offer.
Sure. I'll start, Dave.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of different things going on. One of which is an event exclusive. It is a Tamagotchi. It's an R2D2 Tamagotchi Platinum version that is a celebration exclusive. It's super cool. I think everyone's gonna love to get their hands on this. We'll also have the Ronin Mandalorian in Beskar armor and Grogu Meisho figure. And those of you that are unfamiliar with the Meisho figures, that is an incredible figure line that's inspired by traditional samurai armor, and they look absolutely amazing. And I know so many people realized the tie-in sort of to Lone Wolf and Cub when the Mandalorian show premiered on Disney Plus, and everyone is here for it and they love it. And this figure absolutely just captures that magic 100%. Grogu even has a little top knot. It's adorable in his little cart. And then we'll even have a build your own Razor Crest model kit. So fans and attendees can sign up for our little workshop that we'll have there. It'll be right there on site, and they can build their own little Razor Crest. And hopefully this version doesn't explode.
I was going to say,
it did in the show.
It doesn't have a bullseye on it, so that's
right.
Yeah, that won't happen until we release like the $500 version, and then we'll destroy it afterwards. That was
sure.
That was hard for those Hasbro Pulse fans who, as soon as that closed, and all of a sudden the next episode it explodes, and we're like, wait a minute.
I know there was definitely a lot of conversation about that ironic little piece of moment from Star Wars from The Mandalorian. It was pretty incredible. That episode was entitled "The Tragedy." There's nothing tragic about these cool items and collectibles. How did you come up with these particular items for Star Wars Celebration?
Yeah, so we work with several brands at Bandai. We have over 13 different brands, but only a handful of them specialize in Star Wars. So Bandai Hobby, which makes our model kits, they're going to have a huge presence. We're going to be selling over 15 model kits for Star Wars there. As Justin mentioned, the Grogu and Beskar Mandalorian is going to be from Tamashii Nations and our exclusive from Tamagotchi. So one of our things is we really want to curate a wonderful experience for our fans. We don't just want to set displays and sell. That's kind of the old way of doing conventions and stuff like that. And so that's where things like our community outreach and stuff comes from. We have the model building Come build a free model. If you've never built a model, you can build this in like 30 minutes. You can take it, you can keep it, you can put it on your shelf, you can love it forever. Hopefully it sparks joy in you and you want to continue to build models and whatnot. We're also going to be doing some panels, some things that involve some of the fan groups. There's a samurai fan group that we're going to be doing a panel with, just because their cosplaying is very similar, if not inspired by what Tomashinishis is doing with their movie realization figures, and we love to support the 501st and stuff like that. At Chicago, the 501st came over to our booth and they were doing they're having like a Jawa crawl, so kind of like small kids that were cosplaying as Jawas, and they were like junk traders, and so we were able to give them a case of the model kits so they could do it and stuff like that. So we really love our fans. Star Wars obviously is very close and near and dear to Justin and my heart, so we love it when people come and they engage with us and try to stump us on trivia or something like that. And it's when the fans at Star Wars Celebration try to stump you at trivia that you realize I've spent my entire life like worshiping Star Wars and studying Star Wars, reading Star Wars, watching Star Wars, and I don't know anything compared to some of these fans. They are incredible, and their knowledge is next to nothing. Like, we did a thing where it was me and two other people, and we were like the biggest Star Wars fans in the world, and we're like, first person to stump us gets X, Y, and Z, and the first person who came to our booth just annihilated us, and we're like, well, here you go, that was fast.
I love that, and I can totally see that. Doing the show for 9 years now, and I mean, our Star Wars fans are amazing, and their knowledge is encyclopedic. They just have this great memory, this great passion for this franchise, and that's what I like about hearing the both of you. Is there's like sincere passion behind what you do and being a part of this amazing community. And, Dave, you mentioned the model kits. I mean, you both did. What I like about the model kits, gentlemen, is that building a model is just a classic hobby. It's a great way to work with your family, with your friends, with your peers, and you're producing a Star Wars product. But there's just something about the collaborative nature and just the critical thinking that goes into building a model. And I love that at Celebration, you get a chance to learn how to do it and just kind of explore and have some fun.
Yeah, 100%. And it's kind of an intimate experience. And you sit there, it starts off on runners or sprues. And as you cut it out and you see it kind of form into the item and actually take shape. And there's something special about that. And there's obviously different skill sets for the different grades of model kits that are out there. And it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an expert. I think that there's just fun to be had all around.
Yeah, it's really cool because we'll have like 3 tables. So we'll have 3 tables and each one can fit, 6 to 8 to 10 people, depending on the size of the table. So it kind of creates this like communal vibe of all of these people at different levels, building, a lot of them, it's especially if it's a kid, it's their very first model they built. And they're sitting next to maybe an adult who's built like Gunpla models or like World War II models and stuff like that. And you just see like the joy in their eyes, and you see like the parents and how much they love it. We have people from the company that are there that have built more models than I can even imagine. So they're there to help you along. So, to teach you how to cut things off the sprue. Actually, I think these ones just kind of pull off the sprue, but to walk you through the whole process. And what's beautiful about like Bandai models is, they don't require any paint. They don't require any glue. You're going to get the Razor Crest and it's going to look just like it does in the show. And then it's up to you if you want to do something special to it. If you want to weather it or battle damage it or do something, maybe spray paint it pink or spray paint it red like the Aaron Venture or something like that. So do something fun with it. But if you just want, a cool Razor Crest, it's going to come right out of the box just like that. So that's what we love about our model kits.
Yeah, and so you can have fun with it, but there's an art to it, but there's also kind of a science to it. So you can just build it as it says to do or as you're instructed to do. You can also be creative and design it in any kind of way, which is pretty cool. And I'm looking at your appearances throughout Star Wars Celebration. Please let everybody know about the panels you're going to be on, what time and what days they can find you, all that good stuff.
Sure. So we'll have the Star Wars Collectibles update with Lucasfilm's Brian Merton, and that is on Thursday, May 26th between, I think it's 2:30 to 4, and that is on the Twin Sun stage. Then we'll also be doing Star Wars Live on Saturday, May 28th, but the time is TBD. And then we have the Star Wars Samurai Universe, which will be a lot of fun. That is Sunday, May 29th at 11 a.m., and that is on the University stage. And I should mention as well that our booth is actually number 1905. So when you're at the convention center, look for booth 1905.
Okay, I was actually just going to ask about that. Now, will both of you be at these panels and at the booth, or where will you be floating around?
We'll be everywhere. So we'll be on some of the panels. Both of us will be on the Star Wars Live on Saturday. But yeah, we'll definitely be at the booth. So we would love for people to come by and say hi. We're bummed we're not on the fan stage because I hear you're the host of the fan stage and
Yes.
we're not there. But we would love to stop by and say hi, throw a model kit or two your way. Because, you know, obviously we love the community. I think the community kind of gets a bad rap at times. But, you know, we're just a bunch of just diehard lifelong Star Wars fans who just love talking to other Star Wars fans like you.
Well, I appreciate that so much. And before I let you go, I got to ask you a couple of questions so we can really kind of break things down. We'll go Justin and Dave in that order. So, Justin, favorite Star Wars movie?
Favorite Star Wars movie is probably, I mean, it's The Empire Strikes Back, but when I was a little boy, it was Return of the Jedi, man. That when Luke is on like the skiff and then R2 shoots out his lightsaber, that was my favorite moment in the history of Star Wars until Rogue One when Jason Voorhees and mowed down like the rebellion. But until that moment, you know, when Luke got his lightsaber and just saved the day, I was like, oh my God, I gotta be Luke Skywalker. It's the greatest movie ever. But as I matured as an adult, I would say The Empire became my favorite Star Wars.
You know, I love that you mentioned the Return of the Jedi, that moment, right? That epic moment. During the pandemic, I found my old vinyl of that. And so I played that, and my son, who was 6 at the time, he would just practice jumping off our little, off our smaller couch and pretend like he was flipping, doing the whole thing, catching the lightsaber. So rad. Yeah, it's great. It's so much fun. Dave, what about you? Your favorite Star Wars movie?
Real quick, I had that vinyl as a kid, and I listened to that so much. I'm sure it got warped and destroyed, but I love listening to it. I'm boring too. You know, Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. However, I'm a huge Vader fan, and I love Troopers. So I have a real big love for Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, as well, just because, you know, Order 66. You know, I have in my office, I have like just 80 or 90 clones from Episode 3 all lined up like they're walking into, you know, the Jedi Temple about to just mow down all these Jedis and apparently Grogu. And so in order to not have a boring answer, you know, I'll say, you know, Empire is my favorite, but I also love Revenge of the Sith, and Return of the Jedi was the first Star Wars movie I was able to see in the theater. I remember my aunt made us show up like 3 minutes late, and C-3PO and R2 were already in Jabba's palace. I was so mad. I'm like, we missed it. I don't know how they got here. What's going on? But for me, the scene in Return of the Jedi that just always gets me is when Luke is underneath the stairs and Vader's taunting him, saying he'll turn Leia and stuff like that. And we have this like chilling, like choral music as Luke just loses his mind and just goes after Vader and then realizes, you know, what he's done. And I mean, you can't get any better than Luke Skywalker. I'm with Justin on that one.
I love that. So I guess I got to ask then, what's your favorite character, both of you?
Oh, yeah. Luke, hands down, bar none. My favorite forever and all eternity. I mean, to the point where when his little X-Wing showed up on Mandalorian, I started crying. I got so choked up. It was nuts.
There is no shame in it. I started clapping and screaming like Michael Jordan came out of retirement in his early 30s. So I understand.
Oh, wow.
That's basically what happened.
Oh, and it was great because they were so dismissive. They're like, one starfighter? I'm like, that's enough, guys.
Yeah, this is not Plo Koon. No offense, Plo. We love you, but come on. This is Luke Skywalker here. Dave, what about you?
So my favorite character is going to shock you. My favorite character is Admiral Akbar. So I actually have an enormous Admiral Akbar collection. I don't have the largest. There's a guy named Mark Schnack, who is the head of the Admiral Akbar Collectors Club. So I'd like to think maybe I'm like third or fourth in line. But we have this small and powerful community. And I can't really explain why he's my favorite. Like my very first email address I had was admiralsnackbar@hotmail.com, and I thought I was like the most clever person in the world. And I remember at Star Wars Celebration 2, I got Tim Rose's autograph, and I told him about that. Wow. And so he signed my autograph to Admiral Snackbar from Admiral Akbar. And I remember his wife was there, and she was like, "Are you making fun of him? He's a bloody admiral." And I'm like, "No, I love him. He's a death." I just can't explain why. I love that goofy Mon Cal. I wish he had. Wish they hadn't done him so dirty in Last Jedi, but beggars can't be choosers.
No, I understand. You know, no one has ever mentioned him as their favorite. I love how you explain that too. And you know what? You're the official #1 Mon Calamari Admiral Akbar collector of Coffee with Kenobi. So congratulations.
Yes! Right. Who's your favorite character?
Oh, I like Vader. Since English teacher is my day job, I think Anakin / Vader is the most Shakespearean with his fall from grace and his slow eventual redemption. I think that's pretty hard to beat from a literary perspective.
Yeah, I think if gun to my head, I would probably have picked Vader, but I just love Admiral Akbar so much that I just gotta go. I gotta go with my boy.
I love it. I think that's true. Well, gentlemen, if people go ahead and give us again where they can find you at Celebration so they can find these amazing products.
Sure. So we will be located at booth 1905.
It's right by the entrance. You can't miss us.
Awesome. And if people want to reach out to you online and ask you any questions about Star Wars or about anything from Bandai, Namco, Toys and Collectibles America, where can they reach you?
Sure. So our oval, if they want to just reach out to Bandai, they can do at Bandai Collect across all social media platforms. And then, and if they want either me or Dave, then I am at Edgy Armo because I'm an edgy Armenian. And David, you are at Bandai Dave.
Yeah, and I welcome all questions, all comments, all discussions on Admiral Akbar. I'm happy to chat Star Wars all day, every day. I love the prequels. I love memes. So anyone who wants to come at me on Twitter, who wants to have a fun time, I am happy to engage with everybody.
How many gallons per flush does the bathroom on the Death Star on the second deck actually have?
Yeah. I might not have the right answer, but I'll give you an answer.
That's right. Well, we won't know the difference. Well, gentlemen, thank you both so much for coming on Coffee with Kenobi.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you for having us.
Listening to Coffee with Kenobi, you are with Dan Z, the podcast you're looking for. This is
That is going to do it for a really nice, really packed bonus episode of Coffee with Kenobi. I want to thank Steve Sandsweet, my friends from Bandai Namco, and Tom Spina for joining us to talk about all the amazing offerings. Well, not all the amazing offerings, but the offerings they have coming to you for Star Wars Celebration. I want to thank Gimme and Mouse Fan Travel as well for all of your travel needs, and for a no cost, no obligation quote, be sure to go to coffeewithkenobi.com/mousefantravel. They can help you plan your magical vacation for the Galactic Star Cruiser, Galaxy's Edge on either coast, the theme parks, not only Disney but Universal as well. You can go on the cruise lines, any last minute plans of Star Wars Celebration, and really, honestly, anywhere you want to go on vacation, anywhere on planet Earth. By the way, when you're using Coffee with Kenobi and Emmy and Mouse Fan Travel together, you support me and the show, and I thank you so much. May 26th at 7 o'clock p.m. Celebration Podcast Meetup at the Hilton Anaheim Mixed Lounge. That's going to be amazing, and I said at the top of the show about where you can find me for the signings, the book signings, which will be, again, Thursday from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock at the Mysterious Galaxies booth, and then again on Sunday from 11 a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. also at the Mysterious Galaxies booth. Books, copies of Star Wars I Am Your Father will be available for purchase, and my co-author Amy Raquel will be there to sign as well. Saturday, Coffee with Kenobi will be returning to the Celebration podcast stage at 3:30 to 4:30. Podcast stages at 208 AB. And then Thursday, my panel, The Mythology of Star Wars, Behind the Facts and the Fiction, on the University stage, room 205 AB. It's going to be a lot of fun. This Monday will be the last Facebook Live before Celebration. We're going to be looking at the Star Wars Rebels episode Idiot's Array. That is at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on our Facebook page. If you want to comment on Star Wars Celebration, the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi, or anything Star Wars related in a family-friendly, spoiler and drama-free place, go to our Coffee with Kenobi Facebook group, the CWK Cafe, at coffeewithkenobi.com/community. Coffee with Kenobi is possible because of you, the members of the CWK Alliance. Thanks to all of you, the podcast, Facebook Live, event coverage like Celebration, and so much more is able to come to life. Find out how you can help the show for as little as $1 a month by joining the CWK Alliance. You'll receive access to CWK Portware, an exclusive weekly audio and video podcast not heard anywhere else. coffeewithkenobi.com/support or coffeewithkenobi.com/CWK Alliance is where you can go to find out more. And 10% of your monthly contributions go directly to the St. Jude Children's Hospital. coffeewithkenobi.com is your place to go for Star Wars news, announcements, reviews, videos, and so much more. If you want to reach out to me and chat with me on email, you can find me on danz at coffeewithkenobi.com. You can connect with me on Twitter at Mr. Zer, MRZEHR. on Instagram at DanZerCWK, and on LinkedIn. Coffee with Kenobi is all over social media, including Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and TikTok. You can give the show a like on Facebook and subscribe to Coffee with Kenobi's YouTube channel. And while you are out helping us on social media, please take a couple of minutes to rate and review the show on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. If you want to grab your new Coffee with Kenobi logo t-shirt and sport it at Celebration or anywhere else you're planning on attending that is Star Wars related, or just to have some fun in Star Wars Coffee with Kenobi style, check out coffeewithkenobi.com/shop. If you are starting a podcast or a blog and want to expand your brand, you can go to danzmedia.com. I can help you get that process started so you can take your first step into a larger world. I'm also available to come to your school, conference, business, or organization to talk about how to tap into your strengths and help you bring out your very best. Again, be on the lookout on your podcast feed for lots of Star Wars Celebration coverage throughout next week. You're going to have Facebook Live, and then a really, really special episode that I can't wait to bring to you. So thank you so much for spending some extra time with me this week. I look forward to seeing so many of you next week at Celebration for a handshake, a hug, a picture, what have you. Looking forward to that. See you real soon, everybody. Enjoy this weekend, and remember, this is a podcast you're looking for.
This podcast is not endorsed by the Walt Disney Company or Lucasfilm Limited. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. The official Star Wars website can be found at www.starwars.com. Star Wars, all names, sounds, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Disney and their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of Coffee with Kenobi unless otherwise indicated.
This is the podcast you're looking for.
There's no one here. Move along.